Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 3, and today we're taking a look at the 2016 Bentley Bentayga. Now this was first previewed as the EXP9F concept car at the 2012 Geneva Motor Show, and the car itself started production in 2015 in Crewe, England, and it's ugly. I'm just going to put it like that. I really don't like the way this car looks. I can forgive it somewhat from the way it looks at the front, because obviously Bentley have got an image and they want to convey every car to look like modern Bentleys, and the modern Bentley does look broadly similar like this, like the Mulsanne and the Continental. So I can kind of forgive it for the front, and it is a lot better than the concept car, but from there backwards it's quite shocking. I don't like the fact that the bonnet line goes right along the way of the door sill, etc. I don't like this large hump on the rear passenger door with the handle. I really don't see the point in that. It just looks absolutely abysmal. Looks like the car's got a swelling going on there. And then it gets even worse at the back, where we've got this stupidly little lip spoiler, which I don't see the point of when it's already got a spoiler at the top of the boot. And really rather large rear headlights, exhausts that are sticking out of the bumper, and it just looks a mess. It just looks like a Mulsanne and a Continental have been overinflated, and then they've just gone, yep, that'll do. Engineering wise though, I can recommend this car, because it's got a really rather solid engine, especially for a car in this class. It's got a 599 horsepower, 663 pounds-feet of torque from a 6-litre twin-turbocharged W12 engine, and the car itself weighs 5,340 pounds. So yeah, that's a hell of a lot of power in an SUV. It's actually probably the second most powerful SUV ever outside of that AMG G-Wagon. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. And yeah, it's actually the all-new W12 engine from Bentley. It's not the same engine at the Continental. It's actually a new version of that engine, which is pretty good. And interior-wise, it's a lot better than it is exterior-wise. Extremely luxurious. It's rather spacious in the back as well. You can get it in versions with 4, 5 or 7 seats, so yeah, it's got quite a bit of practicality going for it as well, as you'd expect for a car of this size. And yeah, typical kind of Bentley interior, lots of leather, lots of wood, stitching, and yeah, clear precise dials, and not an over exuberance amount of buttons like a lot of cars in this class do. And yeah, it's also got a sizable boot, which will obviously shrink if you've got the 4-seat version, because the seats don't fold down, as there's a immovable centre bit in between the 2 seats at the back. But if you've got the 5-seat or the 7-seat version, then you can move them around to make more boot space, which is pretty good. And I've heard that it's a really rather good off-road as well. By no means a Range Rover capable kind of off-roader, because it's got no locking differentials or low-range gearbox, but apparently it is really rather reasonable for a car of this class in terms of being off-road. So yeah, can fully respect this car engineering-wise, but I can't recommend it in terms of looks. And I know that's generally an opinion, but in my opinion, it just doesn't look right. They've done the same thing as the Porsche Cayenne. They've just tried to make a car that was a sports car, or at least a low-slung coupe, into a big off-roader, and it just does not work. Like I said, I can forgive it the front, but there backwards, it's just criminally bad. It's not the worst-looking car though. Pontiac Aztek can certainly take that top spot, but yeah, it's not far off. Anyway, to take a look at what the engineering is like on this vehicle, we're going to take it out to the circuit and see what it can do. So yeah, see you when we get there. Right, so here we are. Let's see what this really rather large car can do. So yeah, with all-wheel drive and plenty of torque, it really does fly off the line. And for a car of this size, it's really rather good in terms of speed and acceleration. Can do 0 to 60 in 4.381 seconds, do 0 to 110.081 seconds, and do 193 mile an hour. So yeah, the most powerful SUV on the market right now. It is also the quickest in terms of top speed. I'm not sure in terms of 0 to 60 time, because I've not looked at every SUV on this game in terms of that. But yeah, it's certainly up there, and yeah, for such a large vehicle and such a heavy vehicle, it does handle its power really rather well. Rolls a little bit, but that's to be expected for a vehicle in this class. But it does hold the road really rather nicely, and does a good job of dealing with all that power. So yeah, can recommend, like I said, it engineering wise. I can respect it engineering wise. Certainly can respect it in terms of the fact that it is granted the first SUV Bentley I've ever made. So maybe that's one reason why the looks are a bit off. They've never been used to making a car like this before. But it's still, yeah, it's not really forgivable at the end of the day when it looks this bad. Bentley have never, they've never made the most stylish of cars before, but neither have they made some of the ugliest ones either, and yeah, this is right up there, quite frankly. But I can respect it engineering wise, and I have no doubt in my mind that this car will last the course, because it's no doubt going to be as well made and as well engineered as you would expect, and it will last quite a long time, I suspect, and especially considering the price tag that these things are going for. I think you can buy a standard one for about 160,000, but you can spend well over 200,000 for such a thing, which does present a kind of a split personality problem for me. I mean, how can you really justify a £200,000 car that is half utilitarian and half luxurious? For such a price tag, you'd expect it to be mostly luxurious and not really utilitarian, which is why, if I was going to get a Bentley that's out today, I'd go for a Continental, maybe even a Mulsanne, just because it's a bit crazy with that amount of power that car has, and it's still able to do what a Continental kind of can do, but, have 4 doors and more practicality going for it. Whee! But yeah, I do like driving it, that's for sure, because it's just really rather interesting to drive such a thing that can hold the road as well as it can while being as large and heavy, which is obviously something we've seen before, but certainly not as often with this amount of power. And I can certainly see people enjoying this car, whether or not they're driving it or being driven in. But it's hard to recommend when it looks like this. But yeah, this will fly off the shelves, well, figurative shelves, because they're already selling predicted to sell between 3,500 and 5,000 models, which is a lot. And there is a V8 version coming apparently, and a super sports version, but even worse than the looks, quite frankly, they're planning on a diesel version. Sorry, but the last thing a Bentley needs outside of looking like this is a diesel, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, it's just a sure sign of the times that Bentley are not only making an SUV now, but they're going to be making a diesel SUV as well. So yeah, even though I'm a fan of the engineering in this W12 version, and I would even be a fan of it in the V8 version, and the way it looks and the fact that it's going to be having a diesel in it is just kind of sullying the brand as far as I'm concerned. And it's kind of a shame, because Bentley were on a roll for a few years, quite frankly, and seems to be going a little bit on the downhill. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.